Behind the walls of ordinary homes, under the shadow of mundane streets, there are truths, terrifying truths, that lie just beyond our comprehension. Welcome to the third layer of the paranormal iceberg, a place where reality shatters and the unexplained thrives. Tonight we venture into the realm of unsettling but rarely known experiences, where the line between the living and the dead blurs into something darker, far darker than we ever imagined. This is 30 East Drive in Pontefract, England. From the outside, it looks like any other house, innocuous and normal, sitting quietly on a suburban street. But for those brave, or foolish, enough to step inside, it is a house that breathes with something much darker, something ancient, and very much alive. In 1966, the Pritchard family moved into this seemingly ordinary home, hoping to begin a new chapter of their lives. Little did they know, they had unwittingly stepped into a nightmare that would make even the strongest souls tremble. It began like so many hauntings do, with subtle, unsettling occurrences, the smell of something burning, objects shifting ever so slightly on their own, and light bulbs flickering as if caught in some invisible current, a harmless nuisance, or so they thought. But soon, the quiet disturbances escalated into something far more horrifying. Strange, unexplained noises began to fill the house, the sound of footsteps echoing on wooden floors when no one was there, the creak of doors swinging open by themselves. And then came the terrifying sighting of a figure, cloaked in shadows, moving deliberately through the rooms. The Pritchards called it the Black Monk, but no one truly understood what it wanted or why it had chosen them. It was a presence beyond their understanding, an entity that made no attempt to hide its intention, to drive them out, to torment them, to make them feel helpless. As the days passed, the house became an inescapable prison of fear. Objects hurled themselves across rooms with a force that defied logic. Windows shattered without explanation, and the family, once safe in their home, began to feel as if they were being watched at every turn. But it wasn't just the haunting atmosphere that terrified them. It was the feeling of something alive, something malevolent, that was watching them, waiting for them to make a mistake. A dark force, relentless and cruel. One night, Diane, the youngest of the family, was dragged by an unseen force, her screams echoing through the halls as she was pulled up the stairs, her body leaving behind bruises she could not explain. The family was not only tormented by the Black Monk's presence, but they were also physically attacked, each member experiencing something different, yet equally terrifying. Doors slammed violently, plants were ripped from their pots and flung across rooms, and photographs were slashed by invisible hands. But it wasn't the visible destruction that left the deepest scars. It was the feeling of being stalked by something that didn't belong in this world. They were living in a nightmare, one from which there was no escape. They tried everything, exorcisms, prayers, rituals, but the force haunting the house was relentless. No matter how far they ran, it would always find them. Today, the house still stands, now owned by filmmaker Bill Bungay. He had heard the stories, but he didn't believe them, not until he stepped inside. What he found within the walls of 30 East Drive was not a home, but a trap, a prison for the soul. Visitors now enter at their own risk, required to sign a waiver acknowledging the danger they may face. Because once you step inside, you're not just visiting, you're becoming part of the house's dark history. And like those before you, you may leave with more than you bargained for. Though many claim to have witnessed objects moving on their own, others report hearing whispers in the dark, feeling unseen hands brush against their skin, or being touched by cold fingers in the dead of night. The legend of the Black Monk continues to torment all who venture too close. It is a dark, suffocating presence, waiting just beyond the veil of our reality. And the question remains, why does it haunt this place? What is it that draws this force from the other side? And will it ever let go? But this is just one of many mysteries we'll explore tonight. The world is full of unsettling places where the boundaries between life and death are thin, where spirits roam freely, and where the forces that shape our world come face to face with the inexplicable. There are stories that we've heard before, but there are others that are so terrifying, so unknown, they demand our attention. In New York, the Hinsdale House waits, its sinister history forever intertwined with the violent spirits that linger there, restless and enraged. And in Pennsylvania, Eastern State Penitentiary, an abandoned prison that held not only the bodies of its prisoners, but their tormented souls as well. These places are not just haunted, they are cursed. And we're about to venture into each of them, to uncover the secrets that still haunt them, to confront the terror that lies waiting for us. Stick with us, because the things we are about to witness, the horrors we will confront, may change everything you thought you knew about the world we live in. These stories are not for the faint of heart. They will make you question reality itself, and when the lights go out, you may wonder if the darkness will ever let you go. First, let us journey to the heart of New York, to the Hinsdale House, where violence and the paranormal have left an indelible mark on history. In the heart of rural New York, amidst the tranquil landscapes of Hinsdale, stands a farmhouse that has become infamous for its dark and unsettling history. Known as the Hinsdale House, this seemingly ordinary dwelling has been the epicenter of paranormal activity that has both terrified and intrigued those who have encountered its malevolent presence. Constructed in the early 19th century, the Hinsdale House has witnessed countless events, some of which have left an indelible mark on its very foundation. Over the years, numerous occupants have reported experiences that defy logical explanation, leading many to believe that the house is a conduit for the supernatural. Today, the Hinsdale House stands as one of the most haunted locations in the United States, drawing paranormal investigators and curious visitors eager to uncover the mysteries that lie within its walls. In 1970, the Dandy family, Clara, Phil, and their children, moved into the Hinsdale House, seeking a fresh start. However, their dreams quickly turned into a nightmare as they began to experience phenomena that defied explanation. The disturbances began subtly, objects shifting positions, unexplained voices echoing through the halls, and foul odors that seemed to materialize from nowhere. As the activity intensified, the family sought help from Father Alphonsus Trebold of St. Bonaventure University. In 1974, Father Trebold performed a structural exorcism in an attempt to cleanse the house of its malevolent spirits. During the ritual, witnesses reported that the house began to shake violently and eerie, unearthly sounds emanated from the windows. Despite the priest's efforts, the exorcism failed to quell the disturbances. The Dandy family endured relentless hauntings, including apparitions of half-human, half-animal figures and demonic entities. In one harrowing incident, a lamp was hurled directly at one of the daughters. The family's ordeal culminated in their departure from the house in October 1978, unable to withstand the terror that had become their daily reality. Decades later, the Hinsdale House continues to be a focal point for paranormal research. Investigators have documented a range of unsettling activities. Electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, have been recorded, capturing disembodied voices responding to questions. Objects have been seen moving on their own, and shadowy figures have been observed lurking in the corners of rooms. Visitors have reported feelings of being watched, sudden temperature drops, and the sensation of unseen hands touching them. Some have even experienced physical manifestations, such as scratches or bruises appearing without explanation. The house's reputation as a haunted location has only grown, with many attributing its activity to the tragic events that unfolded within its walls. The Hinsdale House stands as a testament to the enduring mysteries of the supernatural. Its dark history and the experiences of those who have encountered its malevolent forces continue to captivate and terrify. Today, the house is open for tours and paranormal investigations, allowing others to experience its eerie presence firsthand. However, many wonder if the evil forces that once haunted the Dandy family still linger, waiting for their next encounter. Could the malevolent spirits that once tormented the Hinsdale House still be at play today? Or have they moved on, leaving only the echoes of their presence behind? The shadow of the Hinsdale House looms against the twilight, its darkened windows seemingly watching all who pass by. The eerie hum of the forest lingers in the background, its sound fading into the silence. For those who dare to step inside, the question remains unanswered. The Hinsdale House, with all its history, remains a place of mystery, a living testament to the idea that some dark forces never truly leave. They wait, patient and unseen, until you make the mistake of looking too closely. With every visitor that enters, the house speaks once more, its malevolent whispers stirring the shadows. Investigators, skeptics, and thrill-seekers alike have all left with the same uneasy feeling, the knowledge that they have encountered something beyond the natural world, something inexplicable, something, despite years of attempts to debunk or explain the strange happenings at the Hinsdale House, the paranormal activity continues to baffle all who enter. The infamous poltergeist activity, once thought to be just the product of an overactive imagination, now stands as an undeniable truth for those who have experienced it firsthand. Everything that happens here is so intense, it's impossible to ignore. The way the energy shifts in the house, it's palpable. It feels like something is watching you, waiting. We've caught multiple recordings of voices, some angry, others pleading. There's no denying it. Whatever is here, it's not of this world. Perhaps the most unsettling part of the Hinsdale House's legacy is its ability to blur the lines between the living and the dead. What began as a family's terrifying ordeal has grown into something larger, a phenomenon that has gripped the attention of paranormal enthusiasts, media, and those who simply wish to understand the very nature of what haunts this house. Even now, paranormal teams continue to explore the house, capturing evidence of shadow figures, unexplained sounds, and phenomena that suggest the presence of something far more sinister than a mere haunting. There are still those who believe the house is the gateway to something darker, a place where spirits, both vengeful and sorrowful, refuse to rest. Some believe that the spirits of the house are trapped in a never-ending cycle, tormented by their own suffering or bound by some ancient force. Others, more chillingly, wonder if the evil that once gripped the house, the demonic presence that tormented the Dandy family, still lingers, feeding on the energy of those who visit. Regardless of the cause, the result is the same. A house steeped in dark history, where reality seems to bend and the boundary between the living and the dead becomes dangerously thin. The Hinsdale House has become a place of legend, not just for its tragic past, but for its continued haunting presence. As you stand outside, watching the darkened windows, you can't help but wonder, could the evil forces that once haunted the Dandy family still be at play today? Or have they simply learned to lie in wait, biding their time until the next unwitting soul dares to enter? In the quiet darkness, the Hinsdale House stands as a warning. Some forces are not meant to be understood. Some doors, once opened, can never be closed. In the tranquil town of Pontefract, West Yorkshire, England, stands an unassuming house at 30 East Drive. To the casual observer, it appears as just another residence on a quiet street. However, beneath its ordinary exterior lies a history steeped in terror and mystery. In August 1966, the Pritchard family, Joe, Jean, their 15-year-old son Philip, and 12-year-old daughter Diane, moved into this very home, seeking a fresh start. Little did they know, they were about to become the unwilling residents of one of the most notorious haunted houses in Britain. Shortly after settling in, the Pritchards began to experience disturbances that defied explanation. Furniture would overturn without cause, lights flickered erratically, and objects moved seemingly on their own. The atmosphere in the house grew increasingly oppressive, with a constant sense of unease permeating every room.
It started with small things. Pictures falling off the walls, strange noises at night. But then it escalated. We'd hear banging sounds like someone was pounding on the walls. One night I was thrown across the room by an unseen force.
The disturbances escalated rapidly. Family members reported being physically attacked, scratches appearing on their skin, bruises forming without explanation, and the terrifying sensation of being slapped or pushed by an unseen entity. The house seemed to be alive with malevolent energy, its very walls pulsating with hostility.
We documented numerous instances of physical manifestations, scratches, bruises, and even objects being hurled across rooms. The intensity of the activity was unlike anything we'd encountered before.
As the disturbances intensified, the Pritchard family began to notice a recurring presence. A dark, shadowy figure that seemed to watch them from the corners of their vision. This entity, later dubbed the Black Monk, became the focal point of their terror.
The legend of the Black Monk is deeply rooted in local history. In the 16th century, a monk from the nearby Pontefract Priory was executed for a crime, and his spirit is believed to have haunted this area ever since.
The Black Monk's manifestations were not limited to mere sightings. Witnesses reported feeling an oppressive presence, as if the very air thickened with malevolence. Some claimed to have heard whispers in the dark, while others felt an unseen hand brush against their skin.
He attempted to communicate with the Black Monk through various means, EVP sessions, spirit boxes, and even seances. While some responses were ambiguous, others were chillingly direct, confirming the entity's awareness of our presence.
Over the years, numerous paranormal investigators have ventured into 30 East Drive, documenting their experiences and capturing evidence of the Black Monk's presence. The house has become a focal point for those seeking to understand the boundaries between the living and the dead.
I purchased the house after producing a horror film here. Since then, it's become a hub for paranormal enthusiasts. I require all visitors to sign a waiver due to the unpredictable nature of the activity.
Guests who have stayed at 30 East Drive report a range of unsettling experiences, from hearing footsteps when no one is present, to witnessing objects move on their own. Some have even reported feeling physically touched or pushed by an unseen force.
Even after moving out, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. The memories of those experiences have stayed with me, haunting me long after I left.
The Black Monk of Pontefract remains one of the most chilling and enduring legends in the realm of the paranormal. For decades, it has haunted the walls of 30 East Drive, casting a shadow over the Pritchard family and every subsequent visitor who dares to enter. The entity, believed to be the tortured spirit of a monk executed for a heinous crime in the 16th century, has become a terrifying presence that refuses to fade into the past. It is not a spirit that lingers simply to be observed. It is one that asserts its power, its rage, and its desire for revenge. Today, the house is a well-known site for paranormal investigations, with many teams reporting both physical and psychological disturbances during their explorations. One team, led by renowned investigator John Fraser, captured startling evidence on their latest visit: a shadowy figure moving across the hallway and the unmistakable sound of heavy breathing, though no one was near. In August of 2008, everyone gathered themselves to take the plunge. Through EVP sessions, investigators have captured voices that seem to come from nowhere, some of which are eerily directed at those present. One chilling recording from an otherwise silent moment clearly says, "Leave me alone," a direct plea from the Black Monk itself. Visitors to 30 East Drive often leave with stories of strange occurrences, objects moving seemingly on their own, the temperature plummeting in certain rooms, and the unsettling sensation that something unseen is in the room with them. For some, it's more than just a haunting. It's an experience that shakes their very understanding of reality.
We've conducted several investigations at 30 East Drive, and while some can be dismissed as coincidence or environmental factors, there are elements here that defy logic. The poltergeist activity, the temperature drops, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. These are things we can't easily explain away.
In some instances, the house seems to come alive with malevolent energy. Loud bangs reverberate through the walls, and unseen forces throw objects across rooms, as if the house itself is trying to communicate with those inside. But what it wants, and why, remains an unanswered question. As investigators, skeptics, and curious onlookers continue to study the phenomena at 30 East Drive, the question remains, has the Black Monk truly been expelled? Or does it still haunt the house today? For those who dare to enter, the chilling legacy of the Black Monk is not just a story, it is an experience that demands to be felt, not simply heard. The Pritchard family's nightmare continues to be felt by those who step inside, and while some may leave with answers, many walk away with even more questions. The Black Monk of Pontefract is not a legend that can be easily dismissed. It is a living nightmare, a force of malevolence that continues to haunt the home at 30 East Drive. So, we ask you, will you be the next to step inside? And if you do, will you leave with answers, or will you become yet another piece of the house's dark history? The Black Monk's legacy may never truly end. Its thirst for vengeance could continue until the last breath of those who dare to enter. In the heart of Philadelphia stands a monument to a bygone era of incarceration, Eastern State Penitentiary. Opened in 1829, this fortress-like facility was designed with a revolutionary approach to punishment, emphasizing solitary confinement to inspire penitence. Its towering walls and labyrinthine corridors once housed some of America's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone and Willie Sutton. After its closure in 1971, Eastern State Penitentiary stood abandoned, its silence broken only by the whispers of its dark past. This eerie abandonment, coupled with its history of isolation and suffering, has transformed it into a prime location for paranormal activity. Former inmates have shared chilling accounts of their time within these walls. Many reported hearing disembodied footsteps echoing through the empty halls, the sound of cell doors creaking open and slamming shut, and the unsettling sensation of being watched by unseen eyes.
I remember lying in my cell, hearing footsteps approaching, but no one was there. Then the door would slam shut on its own. It was like the place was alive, and it knew we were there.
The solitary confinement cells designed to isolate inmates completely have been the epicenter of many reported hauntings. Visitors and staff alike have experienced sudden cold spots, the sound of chains dragging across the floor, and the eerie feeling of being touched by invisible hands.
We've documented numerous instances of unexplained noises and cold spots, particularly in the solitary cells. The energy in these areas is palpable, and the experiences are consistent with reports from former inmates.
Eastern State Penitentiary has been the subject of numerous paranormal investigations by teams such as ghost hunters and ghost adventurers. These investigations have yielded compelling evidence of the supernatural. Electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, have been recorded, capturing disembodied voices responding to questions posed by investigators. Shadowy figures have been seen darting through the hallways, and unexplained noises have been heard, including the sound of chains dragging and distant whispers.
During one investigation, we captured a clear EVP of a male voice saying, "Get out." We were alone in that area at the time and there was no one else around.
One of the most persistent entities reported is the Shadow Man, a dark figure seen moving swiftly through the hallways, often disappearing when approached. This apparition has been captured on camera and remains one of the most compelling pieces of evidence. Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a testament to a dark chapter in America's penal history. Its walls, once silent witnesses to the suffering of countless inmates, now echo with the restless spirits of those who endured unimaginable hardships. The spirits of Eastern State Penitentiary continue to intrigue and terrify, drawing those who seek to understand the mysteries that linger within its walls. Could the spirits of those who suffered in the prison still roam these halls, seeking vengeance or peace? Or have they found the rest they so desperately sought? In the silence that follows, Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a haunting reminder of the past, its stories waiting to be told by those brave enough to listen. These encounters are spine-chilling. What's your take? Could all of this be real? From the restless spirits of the Hinsdale House to the tormented souls trapped within the walls of Eastern State Penitentiary, each of these cases raises a question that has captivated humanity for centuries. What lies beyond the veil? The evidence is there, documented and witnessed by countless investigators and those who dared to explore. But is it enough to convince us? Or do these experiences remain, at their core, a mystery we may never fully unravel? We want to hear your thoughts. Could these terrifying encounters be real, or are they the product of overactive imaginations and long-held legends? Share your opinion in the comments below. We value your perspective and look forward to discussing what could be the truth behind these eerie stories. If you're fascinated by the paranormal and want to join us as we continue to peel back the layers of the unknown, be sure to subscribe for more spine-tingling tales from the depths of the paranormal. Don't miss out on the upcoming investigations. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned. The mystery is far from over. The next layer of the paranormal iceberg awaits, and it's darker than ever. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing in this chilling journey into the unknown. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the deeper layers of the paranormal series. The spirits of the past may have found their way into our stories, but the mysteries still call out from the darkness. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. You never know what might be lurking just beyond the edge of reality. Remember, this is just one layer of the iceberg, and the truth is still waiting to be discovered.